Get home.
And down the stretch they come. Surge at Hawthorne. I think the 7's going to get there, I believe. Let's see. Maybe the 2.
I told you before we went live, I was like, 7's my pick, and he just won. All right.
What a way to kick it off. Helping people already. All right. The race was already over, but there you go. The 7 gets the job done here at the 6 at Hawthorne. We're back for the Hawthorne live show. Just going to show up and show you a stretch duel right off the bat. And I tried to surge that 4 home, but the 7 gets it done. That was my second choice. Damn it. I had the 4 on top. Oh, well.
I need a surge tank top, like the surge soda, like that weird neon green with like the red and black lettering, the splatter. I need that. That's got to exist somewhere. I need that for this show.
Oh, I love that idea. I think it's a great idea, and I think you should wear it on FanDuel TV as well. I think it's a dress code, right? It fits it.
They do sell Surge t-shirts. Awesome.
All right. Yeah.
I'm gonna work.
What do you want to talk about today, Magic?
Let's see. We covered Brad. Oh, by the way, if you type in Surge tank top, very different results. I don't know why that shows up like that, but if you want to see me in the black leather bustier, I can get that.
Hold on, because sometimes it customizes to what you usually like search. So let me see what it comes up when I search it.
See, you say that. I have it specifically set to where it doesn't track that. In the state of California, you can opt out of that, and I have.
Nothing bad comes when I Google search it. It's just there must be like a Surge St. Louis, because that came up, and then there's the actual Surge shirt that you're talking about, and then there's like just some like workout clothes. So yeah, no, you're doing something, and that's why. It's not. We're not.
Chris Maello on Magic Mike today asked me to do the truffle shuffle.
The truffle shuffle. You should do it.
Which I've never seen the Goonies. Is it just it's the fat kid just lifts his shirt up and jiggles his belly around, right?
I think so.
Okay.
That's what I know it as.
Yeah.
Well,
I got suspended. I heard about that. It must have been a cold ass day where Jorge Navarro's going to end up later. That's wow. I suspended. Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think he's going the same place as Jorge Navarro.
No, I said it must have been a cold day down there for Irad to be suspended. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was like, okay, come on. There's levels to this shit. I mean, geez. Well, we're back. It's Hawthorne Thursday, and we usually goof around, and then we'll talk a little bit about Hawthorne as well. So we'll goof around an extra little bit today. We'll also talk racing. You just saw the 6. So Hawthorne, next 3 races we'll be covering here. Okay, here's the bad news. We'll get it out of the way. 2 of the 3 races were on the turf, and they are now off the turf. So that'll be the 7th and the 9th. So that's kind of tradition for the show that they're off the turf. We do have a field of 7 coming up. Only the 2 and the 7 came off of this one. So we'll talk about it here in a second. We were not here last week. That's because I was in Seattle, Magic, and I don't know what. What were you doing last week? Did you just but this time just kick back, enjoy? What'd you do?
No, not that. What was I doing? I don't even remember.
Well, that's par for the course.
Yeah. Let's see. Last Thursday we did Magic Mike. Yeah, that's about it. Let me look at my calendar. I can tell you. Well, real interesting show we're off.
We are off to an exciting start. The viewership is plummeting as you look through papers on live air. Good Lord. No. Yeah.
What is this? Cornet, 1984. Here's my schedule for 1984 in South Memphis.
I may have had some of that with John White over the weekend talking about, well, probably 1974 versus 1984. But yeah, great.
Talk about your Emerald Downs trip because you haven't had a chance to talk about it yet.
Well, that's what I was going to try to do before you started shuffling through the papers. So yeah, I went to Emerald Downs. It was awesome. It was awesome. That is a great little track. They really care about the history of Washington racing. The Hall of Fame is right there at the track. You can walk through it. It's very, very cool. They've got huge silks and pictures of all the Longacres mile winners, which I thought was really cool. They really know how to run a racetrack. It was an awesome thing. It reminded me of just like a miniature, not like Beauty or anything, but like a miniature Santa Anita where you walk in and there's been a lot of history. Same with Emerald Downs. You walk in and you could feel there's been a lot of history. The people are really into horse racing there. The Longacres Mile Day was packed and people were having a good time and it was great. I can't say enough good things about Emerald Downs. It was good. I'll talk more about some of the other stuff we did. Some people we met, at Emerald as well. And we actually were at dinner the night before. We're kind of a party / dinner at the owners of 5-Star General's house. And 5-Star General went on to win the Longacres Mile for the second straight year. We reconnected with Grant Forrester, who actually is a friend from way back when we first started. He was at Oaklawn. Okay. Nicest guy in the world. We hung out with him here and there and everywhere for a couple of years. He left and come back to Oaklawn. He went to Fairgrounds and we hadn't seen Grant and it might be 10 years, Magic. And so he was at the party because he was the trainer, obviously a 5-Star General. And I looked at him and he looked at me. He goes, "It's been a long time." I was like, "Man, I'm relieved that you remembered me because I didn't know if you would." He goes, "Oh no, racing dudes." And then he looked. He's like, I don't remember him talking about Jared." I said, "Well, he's the other racing dude." He's like, "No, the guy I knew didn't have a beard and was a baby face." So yeah, well, it's been a long time. So once he knew, he figured it out. He remembered Jared as well. So it was great to catch up with him. And so that was good as well. So all in all, very good trip. And of course, bearing the lead, John White goes into the Washington Racing Hall of Fame. A very, very special moment on Saturday when he was inducted into that. I know it, one of the most meaningful things that's ever happened to him was getting into that. Joe Withy, the general manager of the racetrack, did a great job. We met him. I was on his podcast last week, and what a nice guy he is. And so it was just a pleasant experience. And of course, seeing John going into the Hall of Fame was great. So that's what I did. Now you can shuffle through your papers some more and tell people what you did.
I did laundry. That's what I found out I did. I did a bunch of laundry and did the Longacres Mile preview. No, I'm watching the replay of that. I said to Magic Mike, go back and watch 5-Star General because the horse that was on the lead that got caught late looked like he off the turn was going to be gone. His stride started shortening. 5-Star General still wasn't on the screen. And all of a sudden, you see those bright silks, and he comes flying. And it's like I knew he was going to win because I was watching the replay, and I was like, "Oh, he got up there!" So super exciting, and that horse has been a fixture in that race for many years, right? This wins it for the second straight year, but it wasn't his second time trying it. He'd been on there before as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very cool horse. We got to go meet him on Sunday morning. He's very cool. And then, I text you Sunday morning as well. Other than maybe John going in and that finish of that race, another big thrill for me was meeting Blaine Wright. Blaine Wright's a guy I followed for a long time as far as handicapping his horses and betting his horses. But I'd never met him. And John knew his father very well. And Blaine came up to him at the Hall of Fame and said, "Hey, I'm just going to congratulate you, not only from me, but from my father. I know he would want to be here." And so anyway, we went back and saw him Sunday morning. He went and showed us all his horses, and man, what a great guy Blaine Wright is. What a nice guy. And the horse that finished second was Blaine Wright's, and it was Clovis Connection, who we met. And I'm going to tell you something. That's one of the coolest horses I've ever been around. He was so cool. He won me over, and I told Tracy, John's wife, about 100 yards from the wire, I looked at her and said, "I can't lose here because Clovis is going to hold on, and that's going to be great for Blaine and for that horse." I said, we're 5-stars going to get him. And that's great for all those people we met. And John's bet, obviously he bet 5-star general. And I said, so we can't lose here. And it was a great finish. And like you said, the last 50 yards, you could tell it's going to get really, really tight. And it's just going to be where that line goes, because for the longest time, it didn't look like 5-star general was going to get there. So if you haven't seen the Longacres mile, go back and watch that race. It was really a special race, but that's it. It's over. We got to get to Hawthorne. They're running the Hawthorne 5.5 furlong, 35K maiden special weight race right here in race 7, Magic. And it's off the turf. We're excited. I know you're excited. Who do you like in this one?
Man, I'm still mad. I'm rewatching the replay of the 7 multiple times. I'm like, damn it. Why couldn't we have been live? Why did Hawthorne have to tease me like that? Chris Block had 2 horses in here, and they're both going to scratch out. One of them, the 2, was kind of who I like. So I'll go to the 3. Georgia on Ease Mind. Wow. Okay. Georgia on Ease Mind. First off the claim after being with Brett Calhoun, but was at Churchill Downs and was second, beaten a length after having the lead. And it was a 7 furlong race. The horse has got a lot of speed. 2 races back at Churchill Downs, making the dirt debut for Calhoun, was favored in that race. And the winner, Crushed Ice, ended up repeating next out. So I think that the 3's got good speed, but doesn't need the lead. I think at this class level, after being at Churchill and Ellis Park, granted in for claiming tags at Churchill, but still, I mean, this is Hawthorne. So I think this horse fits pretty well. So yeah, I'd roll with the 3, Georgia on Ease Mind, the 3-year-old for trainer John Herron.
All right, the 3 for you, and coming off of that 6th place effort against Maiden Special Weight Company on the turf there at Hawthorne. So we'll see if that horse can get a big win here. Look, when it came off the turf, I'm sorry, I just read from scratch the one who I was getting ready to talk about, not the 3. Georgia on His Mind is coming off that maiden claiming race at Churchill. I was talking about the 1 from scratch, who I like in this race just a little bit. Why was I going to talk about this horse? Well, let's look at the trainer of record. It is Grant Forrester, a man that I spent some time with over the weekend. So I wanted to shout out this horse. I would think they wanted him to get on the turf again today. That's kind of the bad news. Beaten 30 lengths on debut on the dirt. And then on the turf was beaten only 7 lengths, but still finished 6th. Cohen gets the mount here. They're going to keep the horse in. So we'll see what happens with the 1. It's a horse that I liked a little bit better on the turf, but wanted to shout out Grant. What about the 5 Mischief Lily? I think that's the horse I'm going to put on top here today. This is a horse that did run once on the dirt in an off the turf event and got second there at Horseshoe Indianapolis, a track we talk about a lot when we handicap Hawthorne. Seems those horses show up. Got beat 6 3/4 that day, but we've talked about it. A little bit easier spot here. So I think the number 5 Mischief Lily does make a ton of sense. I've got that horse on top. I like your 3. I do like your 1 as well. And I will talk quickly about the 6 Absolute Miracle. This is a horse that has been anything but impressive, I would say, in 5 starts, right? This is Philly has not lit the world on fire. However, 4 of the 5 starts have come over the dirt, and 4 of the 5 starts have come sprinting. And the best effort was last time out when sprinting on the dirt right here at Hawthorne. So I think you kind of look at this and go, well, she's not much, and that's true. But she may have caught a field today that she can beat. I think the 6 is very interesting at the 7-1 price. Hopefully she stays around there. She was just one to me, Magic. I thought, if it's just one of those situations where dirt form is just going to kind of be the ticket to this race because it's off the turf now, this one's got more of it than anybody.
Yeah, and when the horses we've talked about, the 1 better effort on turf, a better buyer, the 5 coming off of all those turf races, has not only the best last out buyer, but which makes it the highest, but also several buyers that stand out on the page that are better than anybody in this field. The 6 is the one where, like, yeah, on dirt, that horse really took a good step forward. Now, the notes say hung late. That was the first time wearing blinkers, so it'll be second time with blinkers. Maybe she'll take an improved step forward, but I was kind of between the 1 and the 3 as far as who to pick on top. The 5 is an interesting one. I'm worried about the 5 cutting back too far. This horse has been routing on the turf and lots of good seconds, lots of good thirds on the turf, but only 2 sprint efforts. They were 6.5 furlong races at Turfway Park and at Woodbine. I left it out there for somebody to take it. That's what she said. But I don't. I think 5.5 is too short for the 5. A horse like this that comes from off the pace, usually when they shorten up from routing to this really short 5.5 furlong sprint, they either will like that really makes them sharp, or they just don't have any, like their kick is coming way too late. So I had the 5 underneath as an exotics play, but I didn't see the 5 coming up to win, unless you could make the argument there's a lot of speed that doesn't hold on in this race. 5 is going to be running. You can trust that she will be chasing that pace. Maybe that's what she's needed all along.
Yeah, 5 will be running late. You're right. It will the cut back in distance be too much, going from that, a lot of those 2-turn route races, obviously, to that shorter distance today. That'll be very interesting. And yeah, look, I think at this point, it's like, we got to try something, right? I mean, we just can't get it done. It's been so many times. We got to try something. Let's try the cutback today. Let's see if that helps. So we'll see what happens with the 5. Mischief Lily just trying to get this horse to the winner's circle. To me, more than anything, Magic, it was just like, this is a spot where she's facing horses that she can beat. It's just a matter of, will she do it? And that, with some of these career maidens, there's just not that field that they can ever really beat. I just feel like, okay, you got a spot here where you can win. So we'll see. Shotty says, I'm very appreciative of the entertainment on my drive back from Hot Springs. So coming back from Hot Springs there, Shotty, I'm surprised you can get us if you're coming back from Hot Springs today. There's a lot of in and out of service. Hopefully you're out of the mountains and back headed towards Fort Smith and then on towards Fayetteville. So a lot of sketchy service there between Hot Springs and Russellville, or Hot Springs and Y City, depending on which way you get your ass out of town. All right, Magic.
Y City?
Y City. Yep.
Is it named that because people go there and they go, why the hell did we stop here?
Nope. It's the letter Y, just the letter Y.
Yeah, no, why? It's a shorthand. You know how the kids speak these days. Why?
Well, listen.
Why so shitty?
Oh, she went the long way, went through Little Rock. That means she's going to add about 45 minutes onto her drive, but it will be all interstate once she gets out of about a 20, 25-minute curvy drive up to the interstate there at Little Rock. So I get it. Yep, taking the interstate way. Longer time, easier drive is how I would describe that. So good luck there as you go down I-40, splitting Arkansas right down the middle. No, is it I-40? I don't know. I can't remember. I-40 might be the one that goes north and south. Doesn't matter. All right. So we're looking at the 5 right now in the paddock. Yeah, look at her. Man, she's ready. Today's the day. 0 for 13. She says no longer. 13's the magic number. 14 is not going to happen. She does have some big-ass blinkers. Holy balls. Those are huge.
Yeah, those are deep cups, as they would call them.
So
she can only see straight ahead. There's ones where you see where they've got almost like the complete cover on them. Sometimes there's like barely even a blinker. It's I wish that it's probably too much, but I know it's too much to ask, but it'd be nice if we were given information about like big blinkers versus small blinkers on for a horse.
So that's a good thing to kind of talk about here as we wait for the horses to get out on the track. There are definitely different types of blinkers that are for different things. There's what they call a cheater blinker, which is basically hardly anything, just kind of because a horse can see behind them, not fully, but they have better vision than us as far as what's behind them. So the cheater is just don't look behind you, keep you focused. And then there's a quarter, a half, and a full. And that's kind of the different kinds. There's variations, and like I said, from as they get
there's
further,
a cheater
and further,
right there.
There you go. Yep.
You can't even see a cup. That's so shallow on it.
Yeah. So if you're standing at the rail and you see that, what that tells you is they're not quite worried about her being focused fully. Just a little bit to help. She might be just a little immature, And so yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And like I said, when you see those full blinkers, it basically means this horse is, I don't want to say a horse is nuts or something like that, but it's just the horse has trouble focusing. They really want that horse to focus.
There's also ones that I learned that you'll see it'll be bigger on, like usually if it's bigger, it's on the right side. That's a horse that has trouble turning. A horse will blow a turn, which is something I learned from Caleb Keller, actually. As he was like, he saw a horse in post parade. He goes, oh, that horse can't turn. How do you, like, it's a post parade. How do you know that? He goes, big giant cup on the outside.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's the stuff that you kind of pick up going around or hanging around trainers and just kind of, why you put what's the difference between that and that? And if you get some that are nice, they'll tell you and and explain. And so that is kind of the thing. So you do see a lot of cheaper horses will wear them more than the really good ones, because the really good ones that's sometimes why they're really good. They understand what they want to, or what they should do, I should say, what they're supposed to do. They don't quite need them, and that's not all of them. Some of them definitely do. So, but anyway, that's kind of why. And blinkers will sometimes, they'll try to get a little early speed into a horse. They'll put blinkers on, but more than anything, it is a focus problem. And look, some of them spook. If you looked at Palace Malice in the Kentucky Derby, they tried to put blinkers on him, and he was scared because he heard all the noise behind him, and he tried to do this where he could look behind him, and he couldn't see anything. And so he got scared. And what did he do? He ran off. So
ran way too fast. Yeah.
And that could have also been a situation if there were 6 horses behind him. Maybe he didn't get scared, but when there's 19 in the Kentucky Derby, that horse
and the crowd,
probably terrified at that point. But thankfully for him, they figured him out and they got him to go on and get a big win there in the Jim Dandy later on, and the Belmont Stakes, of course, later on in the season. All right, post parade coming up here. Let's get a question here. So how do we feel about the fall of the Church of Kingsbarns? Yeah, I guess Kingsbarns retired. Did that make any headlines with you?
It did. He won the Stephen Foster. He was going to go to the Breeders' Cup Classic, and I think there's going to be a fair amount of money put on him. He's also would have been part of the pace there, and I would have been completely against him in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So I am sad in that sense, in a selfish regard. It's nice that they realized like this is a suspensory ligament and it would have taken months, not weeks, to recover from. And the entire point, like Spendthrift said it after he won the Foster, they're like, okay, great, now we've got a stall for him. Okay, so he's going to go retire after a couple more starts. So it wasn't like he was just a budding superstar on the brink of greatness and got off to do it. I think there's some we can always look at him and say there was untapped potential or unmet potential, because he was purchased for $800,000. He was undefeated going into the Kentucky Derby. He looked really, if you scratch off the Kentucky Derby, he had a really nice resume, and it would have been nice to see him run more often than he did. But because he was so lightly raced, he only debuted at 3. Like, there were signs that he wasn't the most sound, most well put together horse in the world.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people saying that, they're faking the injury. Just they got him as grade 1, and now he'll just ride off in the sunset. And that's everything that's wrong with racing. I just rolled my eyes. It's like, guys, multiple times this horse has shown you he's not very sound. So it's not a huge shock. He's had trouble. And like I said, he had trouble getting to the races, which was clear. No races as 2, races a 3-year-old. Had a big gap before he came back as a 4-year-old. If you notice, they space his races out very far apart. It's because he's not the soundest. So I think in that situation, to get him to the breeding shed and just to be blunt, to not have him have some kind of breakdown, I think we should be relieved about it. And I think it's good. So, and and that's the other thing. If they wanted to get him to the Breeders' Cup, they wanted to get him to some more big races. That only would have drove that stallion fee up for him for his first crop. And they're not faking an injury here. He's hurt, and they've probably got the stud deal in place. They're like, I don't think we need to put him through another 5-6 months of rehab just to go race him in the Pegasus next year. Let's just breed him. And I get it. That's part of it for sure. So 1 minute away. Oh, it's getting exciting here for the 7th and Hawthorne. The crowd gathering towards the rail there in Chicago there at Hawthorne. Should be a lot of fun here. Your let's see, your 3 is 4-1. You like the price?
Yep, I do. I like the price. The money's coming in big time on the 5 Mischief Lily. I think it's the buyers, right? Her last time out, she got a 70 buyer for finishing second, but before that, 58, 59, 57. That one race in Indiana where she was well off the board, scratch that off, 59. She got a 53 for finishing second in the dirt. All of those numbers are better than every single horse's career best in this field. So you can understand why she's taking the money. I think if we did a pick 3 ticket, I would just do 3-5 in here and hope that Good friend Grant Forster doesn't screw us up, because I think that's the one I'd be worried about just because of the speed from the rail. But I think 3 and 5 is all we would need to get through this first leg.
Okay, I got 3, 5, and then 4. I think 4 is all we need in the second leg. What do you think?
Yep. Yeah. Going to be a very short price. Kozan Success 4 to 5 in the morning line has been, if you ignore the Churchill Downs race, the last 3 at Hawthorne, 50-cent favorite, 40-cent favorite, 60-cent favorite. If you use the 4, you've got to use a horse like the 3, who's 20 to 1 to get any kind of hope for value. And even then that's ridiculous. So yeah, I would just single the 4.
3, 5 with 4 with all. That's what I think we should do.
just so we can guarantee we're going to cash something there.
Well, then maybe not. There's only 8 horses in the last, so you could play that for $16 for $1.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I mean, you could scratch some horses off of there. I don't think that the 1 is worth playing necessarily.
Well, he was close last time. He only got to be 56. All right, take the 1 off. Take the 1 off. Ricky's Best, not taking him off, man. Ricky's Best, the 2 horse got to stay in.
Stay on there, yep. The 3 Dakota Invader coming in from Prairie Meadows.
Oh, got to leave him on.
Okay. Well, you got J Love. Never mind. J Love's on. Don't leave J Love off that.
I think you can leave the 5 off.
Black Russian, yep.
2, 3, 6. I think the 6. We don't know what he's going to do.
What is the black? It's coffee and vodka. I was trying to remember what a Black Russian drink was.
So you could play 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
And that would be, let's see, that'd be $12.
There we go. Let's do that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Hope that Ricky's Best is good enough.
Well, it rarely is, but boy, Ricky almost made his return to racing, dudes, but he backed out last second.
I mean, yeah, like everybody wants to know where he was. Like he had a chance. He was slated to come back, and he didn't come back.
Yeah, exactly. Pedal says 6 is winning this race. I mentioned the 6. I don't hate that. 9 to 1 is a hell of a price. I agree. And look, this is a horse that does have a lot of races on the dirt. They haven't been great. The last one was the best, so we'll see. Yeah, Ricky, pour one out.
That was his best finish, was that last race, but his buyers have 48, 49, 48. Like there's been no improvement from her, like in terms of a speed figure.
She's not great.
No.
Like she's not very good, but she'll do once. Okay. Let's go. We're 0 minutes to post here. As we look here, the 6, if you still want to take a shot with that 6 horse, 6 is 9 to 1. Very nice. The 5 is 6 to 5, and your 3 holding now 3 to 1. Dennis is like a mother on Facebook. He just keeps hinting, hey, look at me, but never tells me what's wrong. You never notice that? Always go, oh, I'm worried. Oh, pray for me. Oh, technology. Tell us what's wrong. You're not a Facebook mom. Maybe we could help. Maybe somebody in the chat could help. Explain what's a matter, and then we'll pay attention to you.
Yeah. Good job, Pedlo.
Use your words.
A 6 is always encouraged. A 6 is always encouraged to do their best, but they're also by far from the worst possible option. So I get going for a 6. You could do a lot worse than going for a 6.
Okay.
Isn't that what he's talking about?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I think.
Listen, just because you and I married 10s doesn't mean you can't admit to, like, back in the day having settled for a 6.
I have no problem with a 6. I'm not that guy. It's fine. 6s are fine. 7s are better, but okay. All right, moving into the game here. All right, here we go. Yeah, absolutely what he's talking about. I know. They're in the gate here for this exciting one. Field of 7. They are off, and we got a good start for all by the looks of it.
Is that the 2? No, who's on the lead right there? The 4. Okay.
Yeah, the 2 scratched out of it. All right, here we go.
That's right.
4's out to the front here.
Wow.
And
horse flying out.
Yep. He's going to cowboy it up to cowgirl up to it to the front. Drama Queenie. This is our first start off of a long layoff. Ran 5 furlongs on the turf. Now getting passed though.
Now getting smoked.
Look at Grant. Grant Forrester, baby. He's hitting in the catbird seat.
Who's with the, that's the 6 with the 3.
Yeah.
Get out of here, 6.
The 4's, or excuse me, the 5
Here
making
comes
a
the
move.
5.
The 3, this is wide open. This will be a good race here.
Come on, 3.
Come
Oh, 3's
on,
out.
5. Because
Oh, shit.
Come on, 5.
Pedlo nailed it, man. Look at that. The 6.
Tried to tell you. The 1's running into the back of the or 5's running in the back of the 1. Grant's horse ran well to get second, but the 6 gets it done. Very nice. 6-1-5.
Yeah. Damn. Well, you were right. All that dirt experience. That was the difference maker for the 6. Also, I would say a jockey upgrade over most of the riders. Mojica's not bad. Ben Curtis is kicking ass at Colonial Downs right now, but Alexis Santino is a very solid rider.
Yeah,
actually, just won the last race as well. So a little double action there for old Santino.
Yeah, Santino, very good job there to get the job done. And look at David Cohen; he really killed it on the 1 too. Good ride.
Louis Roussel owns and trains the 6 and the 4. The 4. Not touching that. The 4 was the pace setter, so set it up for the stable. Those are some cool silks. I was trying to tell. It looked like somebody had like ripped them apart, but it's like silver lightning bolts across the back there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, good race here from the 6 and a very good price. Like I said, the Pedlo kind of referenced, man, that's a really good price, and the horse was going to bet it, and 8-1, it was worth the shot, you know. And again, it was a simple handicap of this horse has a lot of experience on this surface.
The horse was a great bet at 8-1. The horse finished at 2-1.
Oh, no shit. Oh my God. I see that now. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I saw so I use Daily Racing Form, and they project what they think the odds will be for a horse based on the betting. And they projected it 2-1, and the horse is 8-1 going in. I was like, man, they're not usually this far off. Well, they were dead on there. 2-1. 5 just needed, the 5 ran well, but again, just needed, needed things to collapse better. That's a good 0-for-14 horse, but yeah,
I just can't get the job done.
5 needs to, I think, back on turf, the 5 will have a better chance with that late kick. Go back to, I know Horseshoe Indy's had trouble staying on the turf recently too. Just go back to Horseshoe Indy and try go on turf there.
I think,
or Hawthorne turf. Maybe that's what they were here trying to be on the turf. Maybe a route race on the turf at Hawthorne.
Maybe drop for like 15
at some point.
I mean, look, you're 0-for-14, and maybe look, I shouldn't say anything because maybe this is a pet or something. You know, they just like to have it, and we like to go watch it run, and they're okay with it. But if you actually like if you actually want to try to win a race, I think just drop the horse in for 15 or 20 and it'll be fine.
Yeah. They claimed the horse for $50,000. And so far, I'm trying to figure out what she's earned minus that race, a -8. So she's only earned $28,000 since they claimed her for 50. And that was March of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think at this point you drop her. And if she gets claimed, you just cut your losses on her.
Yeah. I don't know. But again, maybe.
But not our horse. We're not making the decision. We're not paying.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I said, like maybe they just like to watch him run or watch her run and whatever, you know, that could be. And if it is,
she's got good. She has potential breeding wise. She's buying to mischief out of a Speightstown mare. So you wouldn't be. There's a Tracy Farmer bred and owned until she got dropped in for a tag. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Claimed it for $50K. Well, they're not making that back. Well,
nope.
Well, not all stories end in good stuff, I guess. That's sometimes you meet a two magic. All right. Race 8 on the card next. 19 minutes to post. We're on the dirt. We're supposed to be on the dirt. It's a 4K claimer. I want to say we talked about Kozan's success on one of these other shows, but I may be wrong about that. It seems like if we haven't, no, it was 2 weeks ago. We did talk about this horse. Yeah. It got beat, and we could have no, we didn't talk about, it was the very first show we talked about Goes On Success. Yeah. So,
I didn't hear about this. No Muth for the Travers.
Yes.
The hell's Baffert doing? Is the horse dead? Do we know?
Muth. Well, let's see. He was supposed to. Okay, let's count the races he started versus the races he was supposed to run in and didn't run, and then we'll talk about what the problem might be. Okay, he did run in the first the San Vicente, right? He was supposed to run it and he ran it. He was supposed to run in the Rebel and he didn't. So 1-1. He was supposed to run the Arkansas Derby. He did it. So that's 2-1. He was supposed to run the Preakness. He didn't run it. He was supposed to run in the Haskell. He didn't run it. He was supposed to run in the Travers. He didn't run at it. So that's 4 races he's missed that he was supposed to make, and 2 races he actually made this year. So what's the problem? I would say he might not be that sound, would be my guess.
He most recently worked 3 days ago. He's had a couple of 6 furlongs. He's at 3 of his last 4 works at Del Mar have been 6 furlongs, but they've gotten slower each time. So yeah, something might be.
Well, I mean, look, I can tell you this. You don't have a horse like Muth and not run him for no reason.
Right.
You know,
no, it's very true.
You just don't. He's really a good horse. His 2 races this year have been right up there with anything. Now, we haven't got to see if he's improved or not because we never see him, but you just don't. You don't do that. You don't keep him in the barn for no reason. And yeah, now he's going to the Pennsylvania Derby, just like he was going to the Preakness and the Haskell and the Travers. I don't know. We'll see. With him, it's just with any Baffert. It's not just him. With any Baffert, you just got to worry about them when they enter. And because if you worry about them, hey, they're going to run in this race. Lately, they just haven't made a lot of them. So that's where I'm at with that.
The one you should want to go win the Travers as a 3-year-old. You should want to win the Travers more than the Pacific Classic, I think. Baffert loves to win the Travers. It's $1.25 million versus $1 million in purse. Pacific Classic this year, it's at, because the Breeders' Cup is going to be at Del Mar this year next. Where I'm going with this is it was supposed to be Muth to the Travers, parenting to the Pacific Classic. Parenting hasn't worked in almost a month. Baffert might come out and say, well, we're going to, I don't know if he did say Pennsylvania Derby. He's been working so long that it's like at some point you've got to run the horse because you're working and eventually needs to go out there and you're giving him blue balls, like just constantly working him and not letting him unleash it.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I do not think he's going to go to the Pacific Classic, but I do not know that for sure. I don't know that answer.
Yeah.
We had somebody, I won't name names, on the Discord saying, don't worry, he'll run in the Pacific Classic, the Pennsylvania Derby, and the Breeders' Cup Classic. And I said, please, I'm begging you. I will bet you $1 million he doesn't run in all 3. And I'm begging that you beg that bet. I'm begging. Because the chances of that horse running in the Pacific Classic on August 31st, the Pennsylvania Derby, which is the 22nd or 24th, and then the Breeders' Cup Classic on November, whatever day it's on this year, is 0.
Yeah.
0.0000 with another 0. It's not going to happen.
I mean, most horses are not going to run again after the Pacific Classic if they're going to the Breeders' Cup. It's 6 weeks out, 7 weeks out. It's too close in this day and age for trainers to run those horses back. So it would be Pacific Classic, Breeders' Cup Classic. Like the Awesome Again at Santa Anita's 4 weeks before, and those are for the horses that need a start, and maybe they can handle that quicker turnaround. But a Baffert can't usually handle that kind of a turnaround.
Let's talk about Baffert a little bit more for a second before we get into the 8th race here, where we both do
My favorite person to talk about. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, let's talk because we, as friends, amongst my friends, I should say, and we've talked about it too. You're my friend, kind of. So we talk about it. Sorry, Magic, you are my friend, sort of. So anyway, we talked about Baffert all the time. And look, all big trainers, the faster the horse is, the harder it is for them to stay healthy. That's just the thing, right? And all big trainers have injuries. Pletcher has injuries. They all do. They all have injuries.
Yep.
I'm not saying, hey, a horse or two's injured. Well, what's he doing? But is it just me, or is it every horse that he gets lately that's a big horse is disappearing? It's crazy. Nysos, May Moon, Muth, Parenting is the latest disappearing act. Imagination, where is he gone? Who knows? When will we see him? Who knows? Coach Prime, where is he? Who knows? You look at like Arabian Night. He was gone forever. He comes back. He's gone again. Heartland, there's another one. Cash LA Surf says Heartland. No, yeah, gone. Totally gone. They just disappear. So, what made me think of this too, I was with John and Ryan and Jared and Tracy over the weekend, and we watched Gaming win at Del Mar and look great. And we watched Nooney win at Del Mar and Getaway Car. And everybody's hyped, and he should be. They're 2-year-olds and they're looking good. But I said, what does that really mean? Because the last 2 years, those are the horses that just fall off the map and disappear. And again, if it's half of them, it's one thing. But if it's all of them, it's really strange. And this is a trainer that never really used to space out races this far either. He used to be kind of known that we're going to make the race 3 weeks or 4 weeks after we had one, and we're going to be good. Just stuff to think about, Magic. What's your thoughts?
I think that so I've read a lot and heard a lot, including from John White, about Bob Baffert's training methods. And I'm not saying this is wrong, just that his method of training horses is that it's very grueling. He puts them through big, hard tests, and he pushes them to the limit. And when you combine that with how breeding nowadays is all about speed, and these horses that they're buying for high 6-7 figures are the ones that are going like lightning fast at the sales, at the 2-year-old and training sales, when they're under tack, and they're said, like, we're going to treat you, a thoroughbred who we ultimately want to go 1 mile and an 1/8 mile and a quarter, we're going to treat you like a drag race car, and you've got to go as fast as you possibly can for 1/8 of a mile, 2/8 of a mile. Like that sort of thing has never made sense to me. But those are the horses that are the flashiest at the sales. But they're also, as you said when you started this, the faster a horse is, the less likely it is to be sound for a long time. And it's not just Baffert horses. You can find so many horses that are that way, including some that unfortunately last year broke down in big races because they were so fast. They were brittle. And you're asking, 1,100-1,200 pound animals to do 45 miles an hour on toothpicks for legs because they're not bred to be super sound anymore. So you factor all that in, and Baffert, I used to jokingly half jokingly refer to it as the Baffert sweatshop, because he'd bring in, every summer, it's like, here's 2-3 dozen 2-year-olds. There's a lot that, if you're not paying attention to the right people on Twitter, like Tom Ryan, who's part of SF Racing or Star, I think it's SF Racing. But he'll post pictures of all the 2-year-olds. Like, here's this son of Spikestown going to Baffert. Here's a son of Medagliadoro. And like, he'll show you, here's all their names. They start off at Los Al, and Baffert's assistant there starts weeding them out. Okay, here's the ones that we can keep moving forward. Here's the ones that aren't taking to how we train horses and what we want them to do. And they start getting sent to other trainers. And then you get the Brittany Russells that get them. You get some of them just get sold at auctions for fractions of what they paid for them. So it's like Baffert starts with a big group, a lot bigger than anybody the general public is aware of. And they get pared down and pared down. Then they start racing them. On Saturday at Del Mar, race 7 is a 2-year-old maiden special weight, 5.5 furlongs. There's 2 in there that are high price horses owned by SF Racing and Saul Cumin and that whole group that always get together for these Baffert horses. It's like, there's a good chance that one of these 2, the one that Martin Garcia is going to ride, he could probably be something. The other one, like when they run 2 of them together by the same ownership group, one usually can move forward and the other one moves to Maryland at some point and not too distant, or moves to a sale and gets, shows up with Billy Morey at Turfway Park or something. Like, it's a combination of Baffert's training style, a very vigorous training style, and just the fact that the horses are bred to be much less sound, that, they're bred to run 2 or 3 big races, not 6, 7, 8, 9 races in a year.
That's the best answer anybody's going to give you right there. I will say that flat out. No, it is. That's it. I mean, if you want to talk about, that was more of an answer. What is problem with the top end of the industry as a whole? He just laid out exactly the problem. And that is why, if you like a horse, then maybe he's a claimer or a maiden special weight or allowance type. He's not really that grade 1 or even grade 2 horse. That's why you can kind of get him and follow him, because they're not doing exactly what he just laid out for the most part, right? Like a 5-star general who won the Longacres Mile and race till he was 8 years old. Well, all that you described, he didn't go through any of that, So, and there's many like that. And so that's why they're kind of easier to kind of get a bigger following on horses like that. So yeah, it's a good layout. I would come back and say there's still, it's still just a little curious why his horses have totally disappeared. So many of them, but still, yeah, I'm with you. And I've kind of grown to not really have an opinion on the Baffert situation. I just handicap his horses and I handicap what he does and his what situations they're in and where do they fire and when do they don't. And, I follow the horses, and it's just like, well, yeah, a lot of these big barns, they disappear. Not every one of them. That's the weird thing about it, right? So that's kind of what I'm getting at with it. Another one I was thinking of, like Speedboat Beach. It's just like, the horse is gone forever. He comes back, he pops a couple races, he's gone forever. He's going to try to come back, pop a couple races. And it's just like, you just don't see that around the country very often. So just some interesting stuff to think about. Yeah.
I'll be fair. I've been critical of Baffert a lot over the years on this channel. I don't think it's a drugs thing in the sense of like, oh, they're not getting access to drugs that they would need. Cash LA Surf is very pro Baffert and is willing to admit that, it doesn't look good. I will also say, in Baffert's defense about the horses disappearing like that, a lot of trainers have that. And because they don't want to tell you like, oh, this horse broke down or this horse got donated or something, this horse got sold to a meat auction in Mexico. Like, you're not going to hear most of those stories, but horses disappear all the time. It's just kind of the nature of it. It's that Baffert is like, he's the Tom Brady of horse racing, where every little thing that he does, everyone's aware of and questioning and watching. And so there are a lot more eyes on him than even a Pletcher or an Asmussen or a Chad Brown. It's just, he's got the biggest stars with the biggest potential. So everybody watches it. And when they disappear, it becomes a bigger deal. I'm not saying that you're wrong about Baffert horses seem to always disappear, because I think it happens at a higher rate.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say he's not the only, I'm trying to defend him in the sense that he's not the only one that this happens to.
No, he's absolutely not. And you just kind of look at what Pletcher has in January versus what Pletcher has after the Triple Crown, and half of them are gone. Right. I mean, that is definitely true. Yeah. I mean, you look at the injuries just lately that Pletcher's had. It's just, it's crazy how they disappear and you just never see them. Like Shoddy mentioned Locked, he's back, but will he make it back? And how long will he be? Born Noble was
Is Locked coming back? I thought
he's back. He's in training. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Huh. Born Noble's a horse that I was high on, just totally gone. The freaking horse that can't finish. I can't even think of the horse's name now. Finished second in the Belmont and the Haskell. He's gone. So it is what it is. What the hell?
Sierra Leone?
No, the horse, the Pletcher horse. God, I can't think of his name.
Mind Frame.
Wow. I totally blanked on that. That's not like me. But yeah, no, he's gone, and who knows when he'll be back. So it happens to all of them. You're right. But the rate has been pretty high. And again, Baffert is definitely the highest of the high profile trainer. And so he does stand out. All right, let's go Hawthorne real quick. Race 8. Easy for me to say on the card here. 4 minutes to post. Our 4 is 1-2. Do you like anybody else in this one?
It was, I would like the 1. if not for that last race, I'm not sure why the one unified weekend, after running a couple, several good races at the $5,000 claiming level, sometimes stipulations of non-winners have won in a year, blah, blah, blah. Lots of, good seconds, a win, a third. And then out of the voided claim, when the horse won two back, came back and was just shit, just horrible in that last race. And that makes me concerned that the voided claim happened for a reason. And now we're at the $4,000 non-winners of two in a year. I don't know. To me, the one would have been most likely to upset the four, but that voided claim and the subsequent horrible effort next time out, it makes me concerned.
Yeah, the one I is one that I have in second. I'm with you. It's kind of it's a weird situation there, and this horse is not great. I would definitely say that. I thought the 5 underneath at a price made a little bit of sense in here. This is a horse that can get out of the gate early. I kind of hope the horse backs off just a bit and kind of just follows the 4 around, and it goes 4-5 all the way around. That would be great. But I thought the 5 made a little bit of sense at a decent price to try to juice up an exacta. And I thought the 7 was another one that made a little bit of sense as well. If you want to try to get away from the 1, maybe play a 4 over 5-7 exacta, or just take a shot with the 5 or 7 at a little bit of a price. The 7, was third last time out to Kozan Success. He was 5th 2 races back. He was, 4 races back. He was well behind him, but Kozan Success actually got DQ'd. So, he's been around him. I don't think he can beat him. I think he can be close to him. So 4 over 5-7 is how I would try to play it. Try to get a price in with this big favorite. What do you think? The 4 should just cruise here.
Yeah, I think if the 5 out hustles you for the lead, sit right there off the flank. The 2's has shown some speed, but I don't think it's comparable to the 3's, the 5. I could see the 2 hanging on for a piece as well. I don't think the 2 is a win candidate, or a strong win candidate, but like maybe 4 over 2-5, and then maybe throw the 7 into third, just because the 2 and the 5, one of those 2 horses, I think, is going to hang around because these are low level claimers. So they've got speed. I think between the 2 and the 5, you pick whichever one you think has a better chance to hang around and make things a little tough for the 4. And then that's, how you play that.
Yep. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I think it's just around, playing around with the 4 and then trying to make your argument for the ones underneath. And look, if you want to play the 1 in second, you got to play it straight. You just got to play a 4-1 straight and forget it.
Yep.
Because, hey, he's second best horse. Let's play it straight. Or, if you think the 1 can win, 5-1, not a bad price as they get ready to load. It'll be interesting to see. 6-5 isn't a horrible price on the 4, but the 4 is not going to be 6-5.
No, the 4 is going to be 2-5, 1-5. When they're racing and they flash the odds, the horse is going to be, yeah.
I would agree. I don't see any way that this holds. And that's something you kind of learn. You play the small tracks. You do kind of learn that, that is rarely what they actually go off at is what you get. And well, to Pedlo's point, the horse was 8 or 9-1 that he bet in the last race and went off at 2-1. So
this is a case where using the daily racing form projections helps. Smaller tracks. It's been a big help if you're playing live.
Have you used those much?
I'm starting to use them more. Yeah. Like if I'm live on air for FanDuel, obviously if I'm handicapping the night before, the morning of, I can't sit there and base it. But they're like basing the projections off of what are the will pays in the daily doubles? What are the probables? That sort of thing. That's where they're coming up with those projections there. They're not just kind of guessing. It's a computerized algorithm.
Right. So, as far as how accurate do you think those are?
They're pretty close.
Good.
I would say that if you allow for a reasonable amount of, a small reasonable amount of error for cushion, they're not usually far off.
Yeah. Okay. Pedlo, he hit the winner in the first. He's going with a trifecta here. 4 over 2-7 over 1-2-7.
1-2-7. Okay. Yeah. I like it.
So we'll see how that shakes out here. The 2-7 now at 5-1, and then the 1-2-7 is 92, 5-1, 5-1. So trying to create some value with the try with some of the shorter prices. It's another way to go about it. If you want to play the try, I think that makes sense.
4's already down to 3-5. That didn't last long.
Well, I thought they were walking to the gate and then they turned around. So they definitely have a huge post-time drag at this track. That's another thing we've learned over the last 6 weeks or so.
Who's another one that screws around? Oh, Fort Erie. Apparently, they do 2 post parades if they've got a turf racing. Did you know that? You probably don't
No,
watch Fort Erie much. I've had to watch a lot of Fort Erie,
no, I don't
um,
watch it much at all.
which is painful. Uh,
No.
all respect to Ashley Mayu, who loves that track. It's their home track, but it's painful to watch Fort Erie. But they get on the track, they do the normal dirt post parade, then they go, mess around. Then they go onto the turf course, and they do it again. They do another post parade.
Wow. No, I watch Fort Erie. If I have a best bet, I watch Fort Erie. That's about it. And that means turn on 1 minute to post, look at
Yeah.
it. Okay. He won, he lost, she won, she lost. Bye. That's my Fort. I can't watch them all. And that's an easy one for me to skip. That's, so.
I've had to do a lot of that. I recently started doing a lot of Assiniboia Downs in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
What do you think of it? I hate it.
Um, I
It's very boring.
It's a lot like the Fairmount Park
Yep.
Angels track.
Yep. Yep.
In that it's a lot of really bad horses and lots of really like 4 or 5 horse fields.
Yep.
However, Kurt Contois? I can't remember his last name exactly. The announcer for Assiniboia Downs.
Mm-hmm.
He'll treat a 4K beaten claimer like it's the goddamn Kentucky Derby. He gets so excited. Like, I like to watch Assiniboia Downs because he makes everything seem so exciting, and he's very entertaining to listen to.
You're not wrong. He is a very good announcer. Dennis says Charlestown. Charlestown has the worst post-time drag. The worst. It's bad. All right, in the gate here at good old Hawthorne. Let's see how they break. All broke well.
Yeah.
But the 4's not going to get the lead.
No.
Uh-oh.
But he's got good position.
Good position, but he usually is not 4th at this stage in the game. Good spot, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the jock is not asking him to do anything. He's just putting him right there, putting him in park in between, the gap there. That's all right.
7's in a good spot to hit the board because the 5 you assume is not gonna. The 5 didn't even get close to the lead, so 5's gonna steadily retreat here on the backstretch.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 is already starting to retreat.
The 4 sitting in a good spot. The 1 got out to the lead. That was a little surprising. Here comes the 4.
7's ranging up a little bit. There was one track that I did. We were talking about other track. Boy, the 2 threw in the towel worse than the 5 did. That's a little surprising.
We've seen this here before. It's like an optical illusion sometimes. Some horses will make moves, and it looks like they're making moves, and they'll flatten, then they look done, and then they'll come on. I don't know if they're going to catch the 1, Magic.
He's traveling pretty nice.
Yes, he is.
He's traveling nice. We'll see if he's got anything left after the quarter pole. Speaking of poles, get the hell out of the way.
Oh, I hate this. Every time we watch it, I hate that. The 4 is just spinning his wheels. He's trying.
Yeah.
This is a stumble fest.
Boy, he's waving all over the damn place, too.
They're exhausted. The 1 pulling away. 4 is
the 1 winning wasn't going to surprise me. Just the voided claim and then coming back and running a horrible effort out of that made me concerned. But
good race.
Yeah. Didn't we say 1 was our second choice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. You couldn't use it with the 4 in any kind of multi-race sequence. It wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah, that was the problem. You had to choose one or the other, and we chose wrong. 1 wins it. I believe the 7 gets second. Did the 4 hold on there for third?
I thought the 7 got. I couldn't tell. I was looking at this. They 7.1 seconds for the final 70 yards there. That's slow.
It's not fast. It's not fast. Let's see. 1. Go ahead.
I was gonna say tracks that we love. Well, maybe used to. I have a big hate relationship with them right now. 147.
Yep.
And then the 5. Okay. The King's Plate. Have you looked at the field for that on Saturday? $1 million King's Plate.
Shit. I'm looking at it now.
My boy Prince is in there, and I'm very excited because I liked this horse a lot as a 2-year-old, and they tried the big boys, and it didn't work out. But I was like, this could be a Queen's Plate winner if they take him back there.
My boy Prince. Oh, my boy Prince is definitely going to win. That's my pick. Was he the horse? No, he wasn't. No. Never mind. He's good. That race last time out was really good. Yeah, he's my pick. He's winning that thing.
Yeah.
Who else they got? Hold on, Jokesta. See, this is tomorrow's job. Dude, no, shouldn't he win? What about the 3?
But the problem is Essex Serpent has lost to him 2 races back. So
yeah,
I think you're most likely upsetter, quote unquote, but he's 2-1. My boy Prince is 7-5. My boy Prince will beat. I can't imagine he goes off better than even money in that race.
I remember my boy Prince now in the summer stakes. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. And in the Breeders' Cup juvenile turf. Yeah.
Okay. Ran 3rd in the Breeders' Cup. Like, he almost beat Mountain Bear.
Yeah.
Like, he got 3rd in the Breeders' Cup juvenile turf. And then he tried the Palisade sprinting, and that was a shit show because he's not a 5.5 furlong horse. And they went, okay, let's go back to Woodbine. And he lost his day. He was 2nd on debut on synthetic. And since then, he's won on synth by 6 lengths, 14 lengths, 6 3/4, 4.5, 1 1/4. The plate trial, they tried out seeing what would happen if they took him back a little bit, and he still beat the hell out of him. He also blew the brake a little bit, but he sat back and still kicked everybody's ass.
Yeah. Now he should win that pretty easy.
Dennis, Aaron will. Well, I'll pull the curtain back for Aaron. He handicaps the day before, so everything for Saturday's card that you get on the site, the free picks, the premium picks, he does all that work on Friday.
Right. He's saying blinkers off. We probably talk about it.
You're gonna talk about the King's Plate on blinkers off?
This probably will. Yeah.
Man, I just didn't think you'd have time. You'd have 45 minutes on vacation recap.
Well, but the show can last as long as it needs to last.
That's true. You got it you got it bad and clean up there. So, by the way, M. Haberstroh, thank you for the comments. We haven't really talked that much about Hawthorne itself. It's mostly Aaron and I used to do Dudes Who Bet Daily every morning for 4 to 5 days a week. So we would talk all the time. And we would talk at least as long afterwards as we would be live on air. We don't have that anymore. This is our one chance a week to just talk and catch up. So it's a huge reason I love doing this show because I just hang out.
That's basically what it is now. It's just Magic and I catching up on what's been going on and talking about stuff on air. So no, we do talk about the Hawthorne show a little bit. But you know what the deal is? You got the screen, right? It's up there. So we don't have to talk that much about Hawthorne because you can watch it, so you can sit there and watch it anyway.
Aside from not cursing as much, this is how Aaron and this is just what we're like when we hang out. We'll get, if there's alcohol involved, it gets a lot dirtier, but
right. Yes.
Sometimes even without alcohol involved. But if this is like the PG version of Aaron and I when we hang out, it's very natural. It's just sometimes we get a little more crass or a lot more crass.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and seriously try to go through every horse in an off the turf maiden claimer, or we could talk about it some and then talk about other things as well. So,
speaking of Hawthorne, is the feed freeze? We've been on Unified Weekend for a while here. Shoddy, Shoddy was with us at Breeders' Cup. She knows this is PG for us.
I'll keep an eye on this. I don't really know. I'm looking at. I've got it on another computer.
Did I tell you I did tell you I'm going to go down to Del Mar for FanDuel on the 25th. So 10 days from now, we're doing all of the shows from the Del Mar track, which will be great. But I'm excited because I got invited to go down, which I thought was like, I usually work the 9 to 12:30 shift on the weekends anyway, because everybody, like the big talent, they're usually all at the track in the afternoons in California. And they invited me down for that. So I got excited. And apparently, according to my producer, that's a really big deal. They don't ever invite the part-timers to go down and do that shit. So
Really? Well, look at you.
He also, it's his first time going down, and he's like second in command producer wise. So I was like, how did that happen? But I'll take it.
Ooh.
I'll take it. Also, the really nice thing is that there's that courtyard that's kind of like across the street from the
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're putting me up in the courtyard because I got to be at work. I got to be on set at like 7 a.m. for production meetings, all that stuff. So like, yeah, we'll just you want a room? We've got a block of rooms for everybody else. I was like, yes. So the family's gonna come down with me.
Wow.
We're gonna I'm gonna get all my vacation talk out now. Sorry, you get a double dose of it. We never go anywhere as a family, so we get like one trip a year that we take. So we're gonna leave. I get off the air at 12:30 Saturday, and then probably leave mid-afternoon and drive down, and then have a nice little family evening in Del Mar. Maybe go to San Diego for a little bit, and then yeah, we got a hotel room with a nice pool, so that'll keep Colson entertained Sunday morning while I'm busy at the horse track.
Yeah, you go to work. Wow, that sounds
Yeah.
great. Look at you. That's great. You said it's the 25th?
It's the Sunday, yeah. The 24th is the Saturday, which is not Pacific Classic. It used to be that was the Pacific Classic weekend, but
Nope.
I think that's not Traverse weekend either. What the hell's happening that weekend?
No, it is Traverse weekend. Yep. Next week is Traverse weekend. Yep. The
I was looking
Classic
at the
weekend is
25th.
next
There we go.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, so they I guess that's true. They always Pacific Classics a week after the Traverse.
Mhm.
All right. What do we got to Del? Oh, Pat O'Brien's that Saturday. And then yeah, Sunday at Del Mar, just the Rancho Bernardo handicap.
Okay. Love it.
How does he say Chipotle?
I don't know.
I've heard a lot of people do that. The L and the T get mixed up. They say Chipotle instead of Chipotle.
I don't know. I don't know this. I don't remember that.
Or you probably were drinking. How about my favorite Jared pronunciation is the guy who has his own radio ESPN show and also commentates on WWE and was a punter in the NFL for Chipotle.
What? No. Surely not.
He had to be joking when he said Chipotle.
If he said it, he.
You guys have to.
If you're calling Pat McAfee, that's pretty bad.
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee. I mean, what?
Don't you guys have? You guys have to have Chipotle, right?
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
right. Hold on. I got to check on this. Hold on. Be right back. It's working. Right when I went to check on it, it's working. Okay.
Wait, what just happened?
No, I was gonna leave because I was gonna go refresh the page, and when it works. It's working now, so we're good.
That was weird.
Yeah.
It was Dennis's technology update. It's what fixed us. Thank you, Dennis.
He literally was worried about his computer updating. I don't know. They update. Sometimes it takes a while. What I've learned about Dennis, if any, he's like my dad. If any little tiny thing happens, technology-wise, Dennis freaks out.
Yeah.
Like today, my dad could not get the camera to work on his computer. Could not do it. And so it's got to be just one button. You just got to click one button. He finally did it. In his mind, though, he thought, I'm going to have to go buy a new computer right now. It's like, well, first of all, no. You know what I mean? Like, I know. Yeah, I know. He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know why he's done it. It's like, it's a random thing that happens. It's not that big a deal. So anyway, that's that.
Things I'm excited about tonight. We're playing. It's my wife is the one who runs it, but a group of us play over Zoom Dungeons and Dragons a couple of times a month. So tonight we get to do that again. That's what I'm looking forward to tonight.
Great. That does sound great. I can't wait.
It was, I'll admit, it was more fun when I wasn't 100% sober, which I've been for the last few months. But just because it's all about role playing, investing in your character, and pretending that you're whoever this thing is that you are for 2 hours. So It's like me when I'm on this show, loosey goosey, just throwing some alcohol and swirling some Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Papa Dude seemed a little frazzled, according to Rob White, because Rob was on the show earlier. Yeah, he was. I would call it extremely frazzled, and then it kind of just took him a few minutes to come down from the frazzledness. Once we got about 10 minutes into the show, it started going smooth. But yeah, and I was in the background trying to make sure everything was working, so I wasn't paying a ton of attention, and then. It was a vet. Listen, some people really like that show because we definitely talked about how exciting it is that the college football's back. So people are excited about that at least. But yeah, could have been better. Could have been worse.
Big day on the channel because this podcast Thursday, as Shotty calls it. Magic Mike did Del Mar Saturday late pick 5. You guys later on Blinkers Off. You've got the Alabama stakes that you'll talk about in depth, which. It's great that Torpedo Anna's taking on the boys. It's also great because it's bigger than 4-horse, 5-horse field for the Alabama. Because I think everybody would go, what? Who's going to run against her in the Alabama? Candy to get second again? Intricate to get third again? Like, no.
I could see Candied, maybe.
Candied probably would. But beyond that, Chattelis, does she show up if Torpedo Anna's there? No. I don't think so.
Nope. So, I mean, that's just, it's a much, much better betting race now. Much better.
Yeah.
And Candied looks tough in there, but it's not like she's impossible to beat like Torpedo Anna would have been. So, so that should be a really good race. Yeah. We're going to talk about it. We'll talk about the Del Mar Oaks. I like that race as well. I think it's a really good race and among other things. So yeah, a lot going on. I'm sure we will recap, the Emerald Downs trip as well. So I'm saving it for that show.
I look forward to that.
$11.80 if you like the Unified Weekend. That's a good enough price for sure.
Man, that was nice.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, one thing that we're doing new on the website, if you guys haven't noticed, as we try to kill some more time here between races. If I pull up the page, there it is. We kind of switch things up and I'm going to start offering. We always have the free picks page. You guys know, you go to racenews.com, you go to the top, free picks, you can go to a track. Saratoga and Del Mar are what everybody cares about right now. So we try to make it easier for you. So you just go right on the homepage, like whatever day it is today. Those are Thursday's picks. I'm about to change it soon. But it's literally just Aaron's top win pick for every race at Saratoga and Del Mar when they're running. It'll be right there on the homepage. And if you guys haven't tried out our picks before, if you're tuned into the Hawthorne show and you haven't tried out our picks before, it's a great way to get started. Aaron always, when people say, well, how should I bet your picks? How should I get started into betting? Aaron always says, start with win bets. It's the simplest, It's the easiest. Who's the best? Who's going to win this race? And you can go to Aaron's, get Aaron's picks right there. But you can also check out the premium products as well. But especially for people checking out the site for the first time, if you want to play Saratoga and Del Mar, check out who our top win picks are. They'll be right there every single day on the homepage.
I love it. Yeah, I like that you're doing that. Easier way to find it for sure. And just kind of quicker access to everything. And you could always go to the other page as well. It's saying, you can go either way. So I love that. And yeah, I mean, our website, I think over the years, we've kind of learned it is a picks website. It's not really a breaking news website or, here's a huge piece on why Bob Baffert horses are disappearing. Whatever. We just like to try to help you pick winners, so that's what the site's geared towards. And that's what we're going to do. So then, that's why we do shows like this as well. I guess we should probably talk about this race at Hawthorne.
I know he scratched. How would you say the name of the 4-horse in this last race at Hawthorne? Darker. When it first flashed up as a scratch, I swear I thought it said shit talker, and I was like, "How did like SHTALKER?" I was like, "How did shit talker get by the Jockey Club?"
I would imagine they want it to sound like that for sure. Shit-tarker is how I would say it.
So if you were from Washington D.C. or like that area where everything like water is, they say water. They add that extra R in between the A and the T.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a shit talker. There you go.
Yeah, shit-tarker. Yeah, they're definitely naming that horse to try to say it fast, and then boom, you get shit talker. Yep. That's great. I love that.
Uh,
Who do you like to win in this race, Magic?
I liked Shit Talker, but he's not in. I'll go with the 9. Giano taking some money, but with 7-2 morning line when this race was still supposed to be on the turf. As far as running on dirt, has some good experience. He's got a second. Actually, almost broke the maiden in the first try on the Hawthorne dirt. That was with Larry Ravelli, so you expect that. But first off, the claim from Ravelli, they ran the horse back protected and set the pace. Ended up being third at 11-1. Tried turf after that. The horse had tried turf before and run second. Didn't really do any running, but now back on dirt, which I think is the better surface, and taking the class drop in for the $20,000 claiming tag. I think it helps the 9 out a lot. The post isn't great, but the 4, 7, and 8 all scratch. So really it's post 6 that you're breaking from instead.
Yeah, same way for mine. I like the number 11 All About Tonight, another one that's just kind of in a spot where he can get the job done here. And another one, it's you see post 11, you go, oh, I don't know about that, but it's really post 8. So it's, it's not that big of a deal. So I did like the 11 as well. I like the 11. I do like your 9 as well, I should say. I like the 6, Io Fedro, not Fredo, Fedro. This is a horse that we don't really know what he is. He did debut on the turf, did very little running right here at this track, dropping down to the maiden claimers. But going to the dirt now, obviously, sources by Union Rags out of a Giants Causeway mare. It just kind of feels like to me this horse should take to the dirt okay. It's just going to be, what is he? Can he kind of improve second off? I know Block will kind of get him to run a little bit better in their second race. So I thought he made a little sense as well. I went 11, 6, 9. I thought the number 3 Dakota Invader, dropping down now, first time as a gelding. Tanner Tracy, pretty good trainer, and you get Loveberry involved here. The horse has been at Prairie Meadows, and that's where Tracy is located, and they're shipping over here to Hawthorne, and I think they're doing it because my experience, at least with Prairie Meadows, it's hard to get 2-turn races in maiden claiming. So I think they probably could not get a maiden claiming race to fill over there at Prairie Meadows. So they came over here to run on Hawthorne because they do want this horse to go 2 turns for a tag. So that was kind of my thought. I was like, look, not that it's like some kind of crazy trip to get over there from Prairie Meadows, but still, it's like if you're going to take this horse from Prairie Meadows, ship it all the way over to here, run in a 2-turn race, it does make me think they still kind of believe this horse can run a little bit. So I thought the 3 Dakota Invader was interesting as well. But yeah, that's how I saw it. It's gonna be very interesting to see how this thing shakes out. None of these horses are very good. That's the thing we could really tell you. Your 9 at 3-2 probably deserves to be, but this might be the only race ever this horse is going to be 3-2 after this.
I did have that's true. I did have the 6 ranked third. I was 9, 11, 6. I think we saw this pretty similarly. I like the move to dirt. I wonder if they debuted the horse on turf because there weren't any 2-turn races that would fit for Io Fedro, or maybe they tried entering and it wasn't filling, sort of thing. Like we mentioned with Prairie Meadows. This horse seems very well built for 2 turns by Union Rags out of a Giants Causeway mare. I'm on you see a Union Rags horse on turf, and it's an automatic toss for me. The horse was also 28-1 on debut, almost 28-1. And when you see that with a Chris Block horse, it's like, okay, that horse was not supposed to do anything at all if it was going to be that sense. But, dirt routing, Union Rags produces 14% winners. He was the Belmont Stakes winner, won the Fountain of Youth, almost won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Do you remember who beat him in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile?
Who are you talking about?
Union Rags?
Union Rags, yeah, Hansen beat him.
There you go. By the way, someone in the sound booth at FanDuel, they've got one of the white Hansens with the blue tail. Is it a plushie or a statue? I can't remember.
It's a plushie.
It was a plushie. Yeah.
Is it from the Iowa Derby?
It's pretty worn. I'll have to go look again. It's placed pretty prominent. I'll go check when I'm back in there tomorrow night.
You keep talking. I'll go get mine. I'll show everybody.
You still have yours? I love that. I was talking about how I was like, oh, this is a collector's item. And the person was like, and the student didn't understand. And I was like, no, here's the thing. Like this horse, I went in the whole story about Dr. Kendall Hansen, who owned the horse, was like, oh, it's a huge Kentucky fan and painted the tail blue on Hansen. So you imagine like a Son of Tappet, gray roan white, and you put this like bright blue. I'm talking like this kind of a blue from my water bottle that you could see on his tail, and it pissed some people off something awful.
Is this him?
Here,
Is that him?
yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yep.
So if you flip it over to the other side, they gave him out at Prairie Meadows that night when he ran in the Iowa Derby. Yeah. Yeah. So
Who
this was
who was it that made him change it? Was it Keeneland that made Hansen change like they wouldn't let him run or something with the blue tail?
if I remember, and I may be misremembering this, I think the only person, or only track that actually let him do it was Mountaineer. They did not let him do it at Prairie Meadows. I know that for sure.
Oh, okay.
But Mountaineer, I'm pretty sure they let him. I don't think they let him at Keeneland either. But yeah, this is him. And like I said, this was if you look at the date on the other side here, at 6/30/2012. That's when they gave those out. And I have a closet right there. Just went right back and got him in from the closet. He still sits in there. So yeah, that's him.
Fun. We still got plenty of time to kill here. This is a fun question from Rob White. Because I actually do know what if depending on the sex, I know what I would call it. You've owned horses, you actually have better than I have. You've had your name actually licensed, but you've never had an unnamed foal that you had to register. So if that was the case, do you know what you would use as the first name?
I got asked this the other day and I don't have an answer. I never thought about it, oddly enough. I don't know. No, I really don't have a clue. Because I've never owned a horse where I could think about it. All mine already had their names on them. So
right.
I don't know is the answer. Do you have a good answer?
So it's a sentimental thing. Back when I was managing condos, and this is probably like late 2000 teens. So maybe 17, 18, something like that. Probably 2018. It was right when I first was really getting involved with racing dudes. I'm starting to pick that up on a semi full-time basis. I had a woman who lived at the building I managed who found out I was a big horse racing person, and she was like huge into horse racing, and she didn't have any friends who followed it. So I met her up with her at the Breeders' Cup in 2019 at San Anita. She went out there for that. But she at the time was like, she had told me that she saw my passion and everything for it. She's like, you're going to be doing this full time. And at that point in time, I was like, this is a fun hobby. It's fun to explore. Maybe I could do it. I didn't really think I could ever seriously do it full time. And I thought I was on this whole path to keep managing condos and HOAs. And she's like, no, you're going to do that. And you're going to be like, she's like, you're going to be on like TV and stuff doing that. And like, so she was one of the first people to ever really, really believe. I just realized you put the horse up on your microphone, by the way. It's incredible. But yeah, she was one of the first people that knew. So I was like, she knew all along that I was destined for better or for worse to do this for full time. So it was always going to be, it'd have to be like a filly, but probably Mary knew.
Wow.
Or Mary. Mary was right. Smart Mary. Something. It was going to have her name's Mary. I was going to have Mary in it and reference the fact that Mary knew that long before I believed in it, she believed in me doing this full time.
Wow. Okay. Well, mine will be Ryan New then, because Ryan Stillman was that person for me. So there you go. We met Ryan Stillman, similar story, just when we were nobody, basically. The site had existed, but only for about 6 months, probably. And same things, like he saw how into it we were, and he's like, you guys are going to be doing this full time. Don't worry about it. Like, you just keep working hard. You're going to be able to do it. We're like, yeah, right, idiot. And then, yeah, it came true. So yeah, Stillman. How about Stillman New? I like that.
There you go.
Stilly New, something like that.
There you go.
I love that story, though. That's a good story.
Stillman, for people who haven't met Ryan Stillman, he's one of the people that has no hesitancy to strike up a conversation with someone new.
Right.
Which is how we met you guys. He saw your shirts. They had that. As a matter of fact, I want to hit the exacta.
Ooh,
and
hold on. Stilly dude. Oh, that's good. That's good. Sorry, go ahead.
That's a good one.
Yeah, love that.
Rob's like, and I'm going to register this, and you can pay me for it. But yeah, he met you guys, and because he went up to you at Santa Anita and was like, "What's the story with your shirts? I've got to know like what this is about." And like, I'm sure nobody had ever really bothered to ask you guys about that before.
No.
And then that's also how he met his wonderful wife, is that they were in an elevator together, and she had on like open-toed shoes, and she's got a tattoo on her foot. And he just looked down and he asked her about the tattoo and struck up a conversation. And yeah, now he's married to this wonderful woman. So it's really awesome when you like Ryan has so many of those stories. Like, yeah, I just started talking to somebody, and now it's, now I'm best friends with John White. Now I'm married to Miranda. Now I'm, making music for the racing dudes. Like, shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and that's how we know John White, through Ryan. And he, like you said, similar thing. He was just like talking to somebody some days, like, you don't happen to know John White, do you? And it's like his wife was working 2 offices down. She's like, oh yeah, I do actually. I'm married to him, So anyway, yeah, crazy. It is crazy stuff how that works. And yeah, I never knew that story. You never told me that story. That's such a good story. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you do need that person to kind of be like, hey, you're good at this. You can do this, and you try to be that. Once somebody does it for you, you try to do it for other people. And, hey, there's Magic working for FanDuel. Like I said, he would be able to do one day. So
I have also, I don't have it figured out yet, but I've also always thought that if it was a male, Coulter Gelding, it would be something related to either the racing dudes or to, you and Jared. At one point I thought about something like AJ dude or dude AJ or something like that. So
that'd be cool.
I don't have it fully fleshed out. So it's it's there.
Well, I was joking with John White because, and I'm sure you remember this. Obviously, you remember this, and you remember telling me. You said I finally gained confidence as like a handicapper / somebody's working in racing when John White told me my videos really helped him out with the morning line, right? And I was telling John White that story. I said, you don't know how many people you've impacted. And I told that story. I said, let's forget that I told Magic for like 3 straight years, hey, you're really good. You're excellent at this. You're very good on the air. But your one little fucking sentence made him have the confidence to go on and do big things in racing. So I said, well, one sentence versus 3 years of hard work. And John about hit the ground. He laughed so hard at that. So I appreciate you letting us have that story there.
That's incredible.
Yeah, Jaron. There you go.
Jaron's a good one.
But yeah, John thought that was pretty funny. So, okay, we're getting ready to do this, and we're excited. the final at Hawthorne. By the way, I moved him over to where you could see me and him. I think I'm just going to keep him here. I like that.
That's good. I like that.
That's pretty cool.
It's also, from a visual standpoint, like that's a nice contrast. Like you've got the blue of your with the white accents, and you got a white with the blue there. Yeah, no, that's good.
I love it. Okay. Saul, he picks the 6 win place show here. 8-1, good enough price.
Yeah.
For the 6. So the 6 here, that's the horse that Madge and I both kind of like, and you're getting the right price based on what we're seeing so far. Hopefully it holds on. 50-cent bet, 311.9. It's a loss, I'm sure, says Pedlo. He's going to try I can see it.
I mean, he was right about. We're not going to tell him he's got no chance because Pedlo beat us in the first race of this pick 3. So
that's right. Hey, listen, it's 50 cents. He's got it. He's got 50 cents to throw at this. I would assume.
We talked about the 3 blinkers off. Moving over here, first time gelding, dropping in class. There's a lot changing for the horse, but I think getting Jareth Loveberry aboard gives this horse the best chance. Of all the things changing, getting J Love aboard, I think gives this horse the best shot.
Yeah, I think that's a big help. No doubt about it. Let's see if Tanner Tracy can come win a race over to Hawthorne after running at Prairie Meadows. Francisco's going 11-6 over the 3. He's going to key that 3 in second by the looks of it there.
Thoughts on the 10? The horse has had 14 chances at this level or similar, including the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at Hawthorne. Underneath, maybe, but the 10 winning would be a shock to me.
Might find the right group, though. But yeah, it just has had trouble. Same with the 11. They both have just had trouble finishing the job. Yeah. So it could be today. This is not the best group of horses. So would not be shocked if the 10 wins, but I'm with you. More of an underneath as well.
They do make medicine for you if you do have trouble finishing.
Well, for humans, they're.
Yeah, it's probably a class 1 drug violation if you gave it to a horse.
I would say, yeah. I would say. Rumor is that's what Medina Spirit had in him, actually. That's why they finally dropped it. He finally came clean. He got into Bob's Viagra. They're off at Hawthorne. And the 6, if you supported the 6, you can't be totally happy with the break. Not great.
No. 11 got nope, still 4 wide. Okay.
Got hung, yep.
Ooh, the 5 about went sideways.
Ooh, the 5 kind of did go sideways, I feel like.
Right.
I don't know what just happened to that 5. Off the screen.
The 11 go off favored?
I don't know. Got the lead, so I'm happy there. I think nope.
9's favored.
9. Okay. Yep. All right, the 11.
Dennis, if you watch FanDuel, like every third or fourth commercial is like an old person commercial. Like we're just, we're one step away from having all of the Viagra, Blue Chew, Cialis. What else? There's another brand name.
There's a lot.
We're real close to having that. Right now, they're taking all that Mike Huckabee money because he's advertising something.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Here
comes my 9.
Your 9's making a huge move into the 11 here. Magic
Surge on pass. Surge on pass.
Surge. The 10. Here comes Dennis with the 10, or it's 9 looks gone. Let's see if he finishes the race. Oh, come on, 11, bounce back. Come on, 11. Nope, 9-11. Not a good combination, actually.
I mean, we did say 10 underneath. The 3 is the only one that's been a disappointment.
Yeah, big time. Your 9 ran big.
Wow.
Yep, he is finishing with a flurry. 9-11. Let's see if he gets second. Yep, 9-11, 10. 2 in fourth. Stiff competition. It wasn't the greatest. The 9 passed that 11 like he was tied to a pole. He just zoomed right by him. That was good.
Am I enjoying FanDuel? Genuinely, yes. Genuinely, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
And I am enjoying it now that you're on it. So
it's surprising how many times I've heard that. It's not just it means the most coming from you, but I have heard it from other people as well.
The only bad thing is you replaced the guy that I kind of liked. Didn't Rich Perloff retire? Wasn't that the opening?
Yes. Kyle Levy got the spot when Brittany Urton left, and I got Rich Perloff's. Or is it the other way around? I'm going to believe it was.
It means more if he hears it from John White, he'll really think he's doing fine. Yeah.
The way I tell myself is that I took the spot after Perloff retired, because to say I took the spot after Brittany Urton left, I'm like, I can't fill those shoes.
No,
metaphorically, her feet are tiny and I wear 15s, but metaphorically, I couldn't fill her shoes.
Well, yeah, you couldn't fill a lot of things, but well, don't touch that one, Magic. You're in the Perloff time slots. I feel like.
Okay.
You're not in the Brittany slots. You're in the Perloff slots.
Stop it. I am. Yes. There are 2 people on staff who are my size: Kurt Hoover and Todd Schrupp. Everybody else, they're tiny. Caleb looks taller than he is because his hair has like a good 5-6 inches. I don't suck. Is that a compliment? Yes, that is a compliment.
I enjoy watching because you always, not always, a lot of times you'll say something that's funny and they just don't get it. It's like inside funny, like if you're on the Racing News channel or just hanging out with the boys or whatever, you'll say something. Yeah. Be like, oh man, I know what he did there. They just go right on and it just right over their head. I always laugh because I feel like a lot of those guys, and I probably would be that way too if I was on, when I'm on television, I'm a lot more buttoned up, right? Unless I'm with like the two guys that I've known for years, then I'll kind of. But when I go on like the Sunday show with Somich and whoever his co-host is, it is straightforward because I don't want to fuck around and make somebody mad. It's not my show, and I feel like that's how a lot of those FanDuel guys are, and that's fine. I get it, but you're not really that way. You still are trying to joke around with them, and they just do not hear it. They just not at all. Yes, me too.
I true story, and Aaron knows this, but Rob, I'm glad that you picked up on that because I do like once a show. There's at least one time every show I'll throw something out there where it's like there might be two people watching who got that, but that's to me that's my audience is like those two people who just got that joke. Yeah. But usually it also means usually that the person I'm on the air with has no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
When you were talking about you were one of my favorites, you were talking about buyer speed figures, and you said, "Oh, and this one got a very nice 69 buyer last time out." I was on the floor laughing, and they didn't have a clue. I don't know you were with me. Yeah, it's a pretty good buyer, you know.
I thought I was gonna get in trouble for that one. Nobody said anything, and I was like, "This is one time I'm happy nobody said anything."
Yeah.
I'll make comic book references from time to time. Mm-hmm. I told Aaron there actually off air there was a David Fox horse that I picked to win at Gulfstream that did, and for the few of you who remember from Dudes Who Bet Daily when I did the what does the fox say, and I picked a fox horse that won at 5-1 at Gulfstream. Just as soon as I like said that and the horse won, I was sitting there on the desk doing my little dance. Win, 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 win. I didn't say it out loud, but I was just kind of sitting there doing this a little bit.
If I paid you $100, would you actually sing it on air?
You wouldn't have to pay me. I'd probably like give me a couple months. I'll probably feel comfortable enough to do that.
I feel like if you were on with Kurt Hoover, you could do it. No, you don't think you'd think it was funny?
He would have no clue what I was talking about. I love working with Kurt. I'd have to do it with someone like Jose Contreras would catch that. Caleb probably would. I'd have to have somebody with it. Maybe Dave Weaver, someone with like a younger kid. Yeah. Dave's daughter's, she's almost a teenager now, but still. Pedlo asked, have I met Allie McCann? I have. She was in studio. She doesn't come to studio very often. She's in Texas, Austin maybe. But she once in a great while, she does come to the studio to do the morning show. You probably don't know who Allie McCann is, do you?
She blonde-headed?
Yeah, she does whenever we come out of break and there's like an action update and they're talking about a sports bet for that night. That's usually what Allie is doing. So she came in to do a week of shows every once in a great while with Megan Payton and Dubs Anderson, who are on from 9 to 11 Monday through Friday. So I have met her. Do you know her, or are you just asking because you think she's good?
I would imagine he's asking for reasons that pertain to.
She is a very lovely human being. In the little bit that I talked to, she likes a little bit of pro wrestling. Her producer guy is a. You'll get this, Aaron. I was like, we were talking about wrestling a little bit, and I was like, they were actually talking about it because I think WrestleMania had just happened, and they were talking about it, and he was kind of bad mouthing the stuff that I liked, and I was like, what's going on? And so I like kind of like chimed in a little bit and inserted myself in conversation here and there. He was like, well, do you watch AEW? I was like, yeah, I was AEW. He says, good friends with the Young Bucks, and I just went, oh, got it.
Yeah, got it.
All I needed to hear. Yeah. And I just kind of like backed right out of the conversation. I was like,
Did you say this guy's a producer?
He's like Allie's producer. Yeah.
Like so he's not
produces
your producer?
Like her segments and stuff. He's not my producer. No.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. He was bad. It was Royal Rumble, and he was bad mouthing CM Punk. That's what made me like kind of like I didn't stand up and defend Punk because Punk doesn't need me to stand up for him. But I was just like, oh, okay. Why didn't you like CM Punk? Is it because are you a jaded WWE fan who got mad that he left 10 years ago? That's fair.
No, he doesn't like my favorite wrestlers. That's why he doesn't like CM Punk. He was mean to him. Yeah. Sorry. That's why. Poor guy.
It took us this long to have a corny reference. Man, it's been
Yeah, I know, right?
either we're off for a game or we really just haven't had a chance to catch up, and took us an hour and 39 minutes for
I
that.
feel like we haven't spoken face to face in like 2 weeks, so we just use this time
Yeah.
to have a phone conversation.
Because we haven't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Oh shoot, I do need to get going though, because I gotta go
Okay.
pick up Colson from daycare soon.
Well-
as fun as this is, I do have to go.
Leave him there. He'll be fine. All right, we're gonna get out of here. I'll close up the show for you here.
Banned.
Yes,
Banned, Shoddy, banned.
you're looking at the biggest Cody Crybaby in the history of Cody Crybabies right down there. What a mark for Cody. Ugh. All right, we're gonna get out of here, guys.
Common, we got the greatest belt in our industries right there.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here today. That's a false statement. He's not now Magic's banned for good. All right, we're gonna leave.
Find me a better belt in all of horse racing than that one right there.
The one they gave away at Hawthorne to win the Hawthorne Challenge. It's better than that one.
Oh shit, I forgot they did it. Never mind. Yeah, that is better. Yep.
I did it.
Yep.
Take that. All right, we're leaving. Get out of here. Magic, go get your child. I'm going to go see my child in about an hour and a half. When plus 8 minutes, it'll be Jared. And I back for blinkers off. I guess I'll go take a nap. It'll be an hour. Jenna says it's an hour and a half plus 8 minutes. We'll be on the air for blinkers off. Going to talk all the shit there. Late night pod. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here for now. Magic, go get the child. We'll see you guys back here next week for more Hawthorne Live.